Okay, let's do our last one here. So I'm going to start with an end-gon again. I want to snap that to my grid points. Okay. Okay, so it's going to go to the top here. I'm going to go ahead and convert this to an editable spline so that I can go in here and take these vertices. I'm going to turn my snap off. And I'm going to go over here and hit break, which will break these. Now I'm going to select all these vertices. They have Beziers on them. I don't really want Beziers on them, so I'm going to right click and go up here and click corner so they're all corners. Okay, so now I can grab this piece because they're broken, and I can pull it down to maybe something about like that. Okay. And now I can go over and hit create line. I need to turn my vertex snaps on, and then I can create a line across here. It doesn't matter whether it's welded or not because we're going to have to weld everything anyway. So then I select it all and I'm going to hit weld. Okay. Okay, now I'm probably going to want this split. I want my polys to be a little bit, this to be cut. So you can go in here and you can hit this divide. I'm going to put 2 in there. Now see how it's staggering those? Okay, so I'm going to undo that. So can do is I'm going to go back to vertex and I'm going to make these all corners again. Oops. Corners. And I'm going to break these. Okay. And then divide it and they'll be equal. Okay, now I can go back and just weld it together. Weld. Okay, so now I can just... So at this point, then I can just convert this to an editable poly, and it'll make it a solid, like so. And what I can do is just now go to my polygon. Oops. Now what I want to do is to recenter this. So I just want to double check that my pivot point is in the center of this object. So if you go to hierarchy, under pivot, affect pivot only, center to object. That'll put your pivot back in the center, and now we can move it back to the center of our world. Okay, so now I can do an inset, like so. And I want to put a shader on it. And then always double check to make sure your normals aren't flipped, but you can see the bottom is dark, this is light, so that's correct. So now I can just delete this, and well, there's several things you could do. You don't have to delete it. You could just extrude it down. Okay. I could also do, maybe I want a bevel on it, so it goes down, a little bit of an angle on it. Like so. And then set that in and delete it. Okay. Now what I want to do now is grab the border, hold down my shift key, and I want to scale it out like so. Maybe about like that. Okay, so now I'm going to grab these 4, and I'm going to go make these planar on the y-axis, and then I'm going to do the same thing here, Make these planar on the y-axis. Okay, so so we're going to want to pick these and these. So now I can go move. I don't want to snap on. Hold down the shift and move it down. Then I can scale. Now, when I'm scaling by default, it's going to want to put the center right here. I want to change this to this one, which is put a center between them, and then just scale that out a little bit. Okay, let's just test it out here with a subdivision on it. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I just think I'm going to put a swift loop on it in here. Fairly tight, like that. That'll hold that edge pretty good. Okay. And if I want this edge down here sharper, I don't want it too sharp, so I'm going to go, and this one down here too. And let's do a chamfer on that. And I don't want the center in here, so I'm going to change this to triangles. And then set that in. Now, we got a little thing here we're going to need the target weld out, so just weld that out. Okay. Okay, good. So now if we have our snaps on to vertex again, holding down the shift key, and then I'm just going to grab like this vertex and pull it. And I've got a angle. Okay, you got to, in some of the exercises we were using this axis constraints, and a lot of times I want that on. Okay. But right now I don't want it on. So shift. And oops, shift, come on, there we go, and then shift it over, and I don't know how many I want. I'm going to put 10 because I don't know. Maybe something about like that. Okay, then we just need to weld these together. So go to edit poly. Now, you know, we don't really want this mesh smooth, but see how I turned it off? If it's off, then when I collapse these, it's just like it's going to delete it off there, so I don't need to delete it off. So I'm going to hit my attach again, attach these all together, and then do my weld thing again, borders. Hold down the control key, go to vertex, and then we're going to weld. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, here's a thing that you'll notice, and I probably should have fixed that before. This is what we're called terminating. Turn this off. This is terminating on a curve, and we don't want to terminate on a curve. So let's back up. Okay, so I just have, so what I want to do is delete that. Okay, so what I want to do is take two of these and go ahead and just attach two of these together. And then I'm going to go ahead and weld it. Okay, now what I want to do is take out this here and here. Just hitting backspace. And now I can cut. I need my snaps on to vertex, and I can cut across here and cut across here. And so now it's going to all be quads. And I'm not going to get that little indent on there. So now I can do my snap again, holding down my shift. And snap it back. And I don't know, 3 of those. So now, same thing, go back and attach again. And let's weld it again. And now I won't have that same pinching that I had before. They're getting a little bit, aren't we? Oh. Yep. I screwed that up. Okay. I forgot. Okay, so what we want to do here is let's center the pivot, and then what we want to do is put a symmetry on this. And actually, we want to do this. Okay, so we need to center this pivot again. So now I'll put my symmetry on there. There we go. Okay, convert that to a poly. And now do my snap. Okay. I don't remember how many of these I needed. Maybe 8. Yep. Okay, so now attach them together. Okay. Weld. Now our subdivision on there. Okay, so now I won't have those highlights in there. Yay! Okay, hope that helped you out. Thank you.